Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Dane Brugler's 7th-round mock draft sees Steelers select QB of the future. The Athletic's NFL draft analyst Dane Brugler compiled his lone 7th-round mock draft of the pre-draft cycle with the 2025 NFL Draft just over a week away. With smoke that Colorado QB Shedeur Sanders could fall in the draft, Brugler has him sliding, with his fall ending with the Steelers at number 21 overall. In addition to Sanders, Brugler has Pittsburgh taking Tennessee RB Dylan Sampson in the 3rd round, Maryland DT Jordan Phillips in the 4th round, SMU edge Elijah Roberts in the 5th round, Florida WR Chamir Deek in the 6th round before wrapping up its draft with Washington LB Carson Bruner in the 7th round. As for taking Sanders, Brugler believes the Steelers will have a serviceable short-term option which would allow them to take Sanders as a developmental quarterback. If Sanders indeed falls out of the top 3, we'd then go on Shedeur watch to see where he lands, Brugler writes. Presumably, the Steelers will have a serviceable short-term option, and Sanders would provide them more of a long-term answer. With the Steelers still pursuing free agent QB Aaron Rodgers, it's conceivable that the Steelers could start Rodgers for a year before handing the reins over to Sanders. He came in for a pre-draft visit last week, and he reportedly has a fan in Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin. If Sanders does wind up being on the board at number 21 overall, he's someone that will very likely be under consideration. Sanders led Colorado to 9 wins last season and is widely regarded as one of the top 2 quarterbacks in the draft. There are certainly some concerns about his long-term outlook and if he can be a good starter, but with Pittsburgh's mess of a quarterback plan, Sanders could provide some much-needed stability and someone to consider long-term. In addition to Sanders, Brugler had the Steelers taking 2 other players who came in for pre-draft visits in Dylan Sampson and Elijah Roberts. Sampson is a speedster out of Tennessee who ran for an SEC-high 1,491 yards and 22 touchdowns in 2024. He's not the biggest back, measuring in at 5,081 and 200 pounds at the combine, where he didn't do athletic testing, but he ran a 4.42 40-yard dash at his pro day and wound up with a 6.60 RAS score. Roberts was primarily an edge for SMU, and he was one of the better players at the position at the 2025 East-West Shrine Bowl. A transfer from Miami, FL, Roberts racked up 17.5 sacks his last 2 seasons at SMU, with 10 sacks in 2023 and 7.5 in 2024. He would provide another pass-rushing option behind T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith, and Nick Herbig, and finding a 4th outside linebacker who can rush the passer is an underrated need for the Steelers. Sandwiched between the Sampson and Roberts picks is Maryland's Jordan Phillips, a potential high-upside selection in the 4th round. While waiting until the 4th round to select a defensive lineman is worrisome, Phillips has a ton of upside at just 20 years old. He won the Pat Tillman Award at the Shrine Bowl, an award that is presented to a player who best exemplifies character, intelligence, sportsmanship and service, and he was a menace on the field. A Tennessee transfer, Phillips eats up blocks on the interior, and he came in with good size at the combine at 6,015 and 312 pounds. His arm length at 31.5 inches was a bit short, but he would represent solid value in the 4th round and would be a good selection due to his ceiling if the Steelers really do wait until the 4th to select a defensive lineman. Rounding out Pittsburgh's draft was WR Chamir Deek in the 6th round and Washington LB Carson Bruner in the 7th round. Deek is a crisp route runner and can win downfield, and he impressed with a 4.34 40-yard dash at the combine, as well as a 38.5 vertical and 10 feet 8 inches broad jump. A transfer from Wisconsin, Deek caught 42 balls for 783 yards and 2 touchdowns last season. Bruner is the easiest connection to make for the Steelers in this draft given that his dad, Mark, is a scout for the team and a former Steeler himself. Bruner is a talented run-stuffer who could come in and provide solid depth and special teams value for the Steelers right out of the gate. Steelers stock watch, OL Max Sharping. This offseason, the Steelers lost 2 interior offensive linemen in free agency. One of them, Nate Herbig, didn't sign for much, so one wonders if that was a player decision. After all, his brother plays here. Either way, the end result seems to be a new contract for Max Scharping. A former second-round pick, Max Scharping has 6 years and 2,000-plus NFL snaps under his belt. But it's hard to ignore that under 100 of those snaps have come over the past 3 seasons. Granted, backup offensive linemen tend not to play unless there are injuries, so that's not necessarily some massive red flag. But there is a reason Scharping, as a former top 60 draft pick, is signing veteran salary benefit deals. There's a reason he was on the Commanders' practice squad when the Steelers signed him last October. And there's a reason that they signed him in October, and not September. The Steelers signed Max Scharping after dealing with injuries along their offensive line. They brought him in to insulate what they had hoped would be a well-fortified offensive line group. Injuries changed the landscape, though, and that's why they brought him and Calvin Anderson, Indiana. The Steelers do have Ryan McCullum and Spencer Anderson as potential interior backups. With a full offseason, perhaps Max Scharping can compete for the top backup guard role. Last season, he actually played a couple of snaps at tackle, but that is not his forte. Either way, this is a low-risk, low-reward move. It cost the Steelers practically nothing to bring Scharping back. And if he makes the team, he likely won't affect much of anything. He may not even dress, acting as the inactive 9th lineman.
Steelers might draft the next Johnny Manziel. There is no sure thing in the NFL draft. Not when the Pittsburgh Steelers own the number 21 overall pick as they do this year, and not when the Cleveland Browns owned the number 22 overall pick in the 2014 selection process. Having said all of that, and acknowledging how the Steelers, hoping for the next franchise quarterback, or Aaron Rodgers shows up, whichever comes first, Shedeur Sanders will likely be the next quarterback picked after. Miami's Cam Ward goes to the Titans, and the New York Giants are flirting hard there as they own the number 3 pick and is dealing with an 11th-hour private workout with the Colorado standout and son of NFL legend Deion Sanders. But here's the scary part, whether Shedeur goes at no. 3, very scary, or at number 21, still scary. ESPN's Peter Schrager likened him to troubled ex-NFL quarterback Johnny Manziel in terms of his coverage and profile. Not a great thing. Shedeur Sanders is the most interesting draft prospect since Johnny Manziel, he said. Yes, I'm going back that far in which this guy could go as high as number 2 overall or slip to the end of the first round or early second. Yet, we will be watching every last second until he's selected. I don't remember a draft where a player that's not the blue chip. First guy is the one we're talking about every single day. Are we just talking about PR? They're both from Texas. They both wear jersey number 2. Shedeur's trademark was flashing an expensive wristwatch at the crowd, while Johnny rubbed his fingers together in a money sign. So, just PR, right? Schrager did not include Manziel's off-field troubles in the conversation as the two players are clearly not two peas in a pod there. Sanders has been accused of arrogance, a trait that Manziel brought with him from Texas A&M to the Browns, where he flopped badly. But his issues as a person do not mirror Johnny's self-admitted woes. Schrager's point is about how the opinions on Shedeur vary so vastly from team to team. Is he worthy of the number 3 pick, the number 21 pick? And the analyst is right. It's a major NFL draft storyline, just as Johnny Football's was. And you fan? What do you think about Shedeur Sanders' situation? Write to us in the comments.